In a peaceful village, nestled in the heart of Mother Nature, where the golden savannas stretched as far as the eye could see, there was a place called Wisdom's Grove. The village was small, but well known, for it was said that the wisdom of the ancestors flowed through its people like a river, guiding them through the trials of life. In this village lived an elder named Samuel. Samuel was respected by all, young and old alike, for his wisdom and gentle guidance. He was the keeper of the Proverbs, ancient sayings passed down through generations, each one carrying a lesson learned through the experiences of countless lives. One day, a curious young man named Daniel approached Samuel. Daniel had always been fascinated by the world beyond the village, and though he had heard the Proverbs many times, he wanted to understand their true meaning. He asked Samuel to share with him the proverbs of their people, not just as words, but with the stories and meanings that made them powerful. Samuel smiled, pleased with Daniel's thirst for knowledge. He invited Daniel to sit with him under the shade of a large tree in the center of the village, a tree so old that it seemed to have witnessed the rise and fall of many generations. "Daniel," Samuel began, "wisdom is like this old tree. No one person can fully embrace it. This means that true wisdom is vast and cannot be fully understood by one person alone. It grows as each of us adds our knowledge to the whole." Daniel nodded, eager to hear more. Samuel continued, "If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This teaches us that while we may achieve quick success on our own, lasting success comes from working together." As the breeze rustled the leaves above them, Samuel's voice grew softer yet more intense. "It takes a village to raise a child," he said. "This means that raising a child is the responsibility of the whole community, not just the parents. We all must contribute to the growth and development of our young ones." Daniel listened intently, the words sinking deep into his heart. "When there is no enemy within, the enemies outside cannot hurt you," Samuel continued. "Inner peace and self-confidence are our greatest defenses against external threats. If we are secure within ourselves, nothing from the outside can harm us." Samuel paused for a moment, letting the weight of his words settle. Then he said, "A bird will always use another bird's feathers to feather its own nest. This reminds us that people often rely on others to achieve their goals. We are all connected, and sometimes we need each other." Daniel thought about this, realizing that he too had often relied on others in his life. "He who learns, teaches," Samuel said next. "This means that knowledge should be shared. When you acquire wisdom, it becomes your duty to pass it on to others." "Do not look where you fell, but where you slipped," Samuel added. "It is not enough to focus on the consequences of our mistakes. We must understand the root cause to prevent them in the future." Daniel nodded, understanding the importance of this lesson. "Even the best cooking pot will not produce food," Samuel continued. "This teaches us that having resources is not enough. We must take action to achieve our goals." "A single bracelet does not jingle," Samuel said with a smile. "One person alone cannot make much impact. Unity is strength. We must work together to create change." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the village, Samuel's voice took on a more serious tone. "Rain does not fall on one roof alone," he said. "This means that challenges and difficulties are a shared human experience. We must remember that we are not alone in our struggles. A man who uses force is afraid of reasoning," Samuel continued. "Those who resort to violence are often insecure in their arguments. True strength lies in the ability to reason and persuade with words, not force. However long the night, the dawn will break," Samuel said, his voice filled with hope. "Difficult times will eventually pass. We must hold on to hope and be patient. Daniel felt a warmth in his heart, comforted by the elder's wisdom. "The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth," Samuel said, his eyes filled with sadness. "Neglected people often act out in destructive ways to gain attention or care. We must ensure that everyone feels valued and supported." "A river does not flow backward," Samuel continued. "Life moves forward. We must focus on the future rather than dwell on the past." Daniel reflected on this, realizing that he had often been guilty of holding on to past mistakes. "A house cannot be built for the rainy season that is already upon us," Samuel said. "We must prepare for challenges before they occur, not during a crisis." As the night grew darker, Samuel's voice became a whisper, yet his words were more powerful than ever. "One who causes others misfortune also teaches them wisdom," he said. "Even negative experiences can impart valuable lessons." "Truth should be in love and love in truth," Samuel continued. "Honesty and love should go hand in hand. They are the foundation of healthy relationships." Daniel felt the truth of these words deeply. "Wisdom does not come overnight," Samuel said. "Gaining wisdom is a gradual process, one that requires time, patience, and experience." "A child is a child of everyone," Samuel added. "The well-being of children is a collective responsibility. We must all contribute to their upbringing and ensure they grow up in a nurturing environment." "An army of sheep led by a lion can defeat an army of lions led by a sheep," Samuel said, with a knowing smile. "Strong leadership can overcome even the greatest odds." "The eye never forgets what the heart has seen," Samuel continued. "Deep emotional experiences leave lasting impressions, shaping who we are and how we see the world." "A goat's tail cannot be smeared with oil to catch dust," Samuel said. "Some things are inherently resistant to certain influences, just as some people are steadfast in their values." "Even the most beautiful flower eventually withers," Samuel added. "Beauty and success are fleeting. We must value what is enduring and lasting." "A chick that will grow into a rooster is spotted the very day it hatches," Samuel said. "Future potential can often be seen early in life. We must nurture and support that potential." Daniel realized that Samuel was teaching him not just about Proverbs, but about life itself. "The ruin of a nation begins in the homes of its people," Samuel said, his voice heavy with the weight of history. "The strength of a community or nation depends on the integrity and values of its families." "He who refuses to obey cannot command," Samuel continued. "Leadership requires the willingness to follow and respect others. To lead, one must also learn to serve." "Rain beats a leopard's skin but does not wash out the spots," Samuel said. "True character remains unchanged despite external influences. We must stay true to who we are, no matter what challenges we face." "Even the king cannot resist gossip," Samuel added with a chuckle. "No one is immune to the power of rumors. We must be careful with our words and how we treat others." "If you heal the leg of a person, do not be surprised if they use it to run away," Samuel said, his voice tinged with irony. "Helping others does not always guarantee loyalty, but we must help nonetheless." "The frog does not drink up the pond in which it lives," Samuel continued. "We should not destroy the environment or resources we depend on for our survival." "Wealth, if you use it, comes to an end. Learning, if you use it, increases," Samuel said. "Material wealth diminishes when spent, but knowledge grows when shared. Invest in learning and wisdom." "You learn how to cut down trees by cutting them down," Samuel added. "Experience is the best teacher. We learn by doing, by facing challenges and overcoming them." "Wisdom is wealth," Samuel said with a smile. "Knowledge and understanding are more valuable than material riches. They can never be taken from you." "Do not set sail using someone else's star," Samuel continued. "Follow your own path rather than relying on others. Be true to yourself and your own journey." The sun does not forget a village just because it is small, Samuel said. Everyone, regardless of their status, has value and is noticed. We must remember that every person matters. When a king has good counselors, his reign is peaceful, Samuel added. Wise advisors lead to successful leadership. Surround yourself with those who will guide you wisely. The day on which one starts out is not the time to start one's preparations, Samuel said. Proper planning and preparation should be done in advance. Do not wait until the last moment. He who burns down his house knows why ashes cost a fortune, Samuel continued. Those who cause their own problems understand the true cost of their actions. We must be mindful of the consequences of our choices. You cannot build a house for last year's summer, Samuel said. Do not try to fix past problems that are no longer relevant. Focus on the present and future. Even the best cooking pot will not produce food, Samuel repeated, emphasizing the importance of action. We must use the tools we have to create the life we want. A child can play with its mother's breasts, but not its father's strength, Samuel said with a hint of humor. Some boundaries should not be crossed. Respect and understanding are crucial in relationships. No matter how hot your anger is, it cannot cook yams, Samuel added with a knowing look. Anger is unproductive and does not solve problems. We must control our emotions. If the lion does not tell his story, the hunter will, Samuel said, his voice filled with conviction. Speak up for yourself, or others will define your narrative. Own your story. One falsehood spoils 1,000 truths, Samuel added. A single lie can undermine a lifetime of honesty. We must strive to be truthful in all things. The lizard that jumped from a high tree to the ground said he would praise himself if no one else did, Samuel said with a smile. Sometimes we need to acknowledge our achievements, even if others do not. Money can't talk, yet it can make lies look true, Samuel added with a note of caution. Wealth can influence perceptions and decisions, often leading to dishonesty. We must be wary of the corrupting power of money. The child who says his mother will not sleep will also stay awake, Samuel said. Those who cause trouble for others often suffer the consequences themselves. We must consider how our actions affect others. The mouth does not forget what it tasted 1 year ago, Samuel added. Memories, especially of strong experiences, linger for a long time. We must be mindful of the impact we have on others. Where there is no shame, there is no honor, Samuel said. Honor and respect come from a sense of personal integrity and accountability. We must hold ourselves to high standards. Not everyone who chased the zebra caught it, but he who caught it chased it, Samuel added with a twinkle in his eye. Success requires effort and persistence. Not all will succeed, but only those who try have a chance. As the night grew late and the stars twinkled above, Daniel sat in silence, absorbing the wisdom that Samuel had shared. He realized that these proverbs were more than just sayings. They were the keys to living a life of meaning, purpose, and integrity. Samuel smiled at Daniel, seeing the understanding in his eyes. Remember, Daniel, he said softly, these proverbs are our heritage, our guide through the journey of life. They are the wisdom of our ancestors, and they will serve you well if you listen to them with your heart. Daniel nodded, his heart full of gratitude. He knew that he had been given a great gift, one that he would carry with him for the rest of his life. As he rose to leave, he bowed deeply to Samuel, thanking him for the knowledge he had shared. And so, Daniel walked away from the old tree, the wisdom of the Proverbs echoing in his mind, guiding his steps as he ventured into the world beyond the village, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, armed with the strength and wisdom of his people.